Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another interview. I've got Jake here. Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Just give people an idea of who Jake is. Just an overview of you.
Yeah, right. I'm 19, going on 20. Pretty much just your average shy bloke, eh? Don't do much. Grew up here, lived here my whole life. Sport and all that.
Sure.
Pretty basic.
Yeah. And how are things at the moment? Past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting. Definitely, like with everything that's going on, everyone's just trying to stay active. Just trying to keep going with what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I've been really good. Just been trying to stay positive, work through everything that's going on.
Hell yeah.
Just keep busy.
Yeah. That's a big thing. If you're like stuck in your home and you can only go out just like to work or get just like items and just different things like essentials, like you kind of just, it's kind of putting you in a box. Like that was for me for a bit.
100%.
I had to like go out and get like things to shop and that. But when I was home, I was just like staying home, which is always, half, like you need to get out there. So it's good you get out there and staying active during this time. So we get into sort of the different issues that you've been going through.
Yeah.
So you say it started with anxiety or started with depression?
Depression.
Yeah.
So that came
how
about.
that started, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was 15 years old, I was always like a bit of a sensitive kid. Like I was always like, wasn't say I was in touch with my emotions, but like I always got upset pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then my dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 15.
Yeah.
And it was a really early detection. I was really lucky, everything was fine, but it wasn't the illness itself, but the process of just going through radiation and like everything that's happening, and he's obviously out of the picture for a while because he's recovering, and then so I just feel like the person had to grow up really quick.
Yeah.
And what that led me to was just sitting by myself a lot, like in the dark in my room. Like I was just trying to do everything for myself. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
I had no outlet, so I was just bottling everything up, all my emotions.
Yeah.
And then I had a few other traumatic experiences that I won't get into, but it just really affected my mental health, but I didn't really know it yet.
Yeah.
I just started getting upset all the time. I was just in bad moods. I was just sitting by myself and I just had no real outlet.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's where it sort of started, but it was undiagnosed.
Yeah.
At that point, I didn't want to tell anyone about it. I didn't tell anyone anything. I just sort of kept it to myself.
Yeah.
And then, so I was at school. A few teachers started noticing things. They tried to send me to a counsellor. Yeah. But I was like typical male bloke. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to talk about that shit. I don't really want to do that. So I went and saw her once, said I was fine, just kept going, and then I was good for a bit, and then it was just like an up and down roller coaster. You get through phases. Yeah, and then just a bit later I realised towards the start of this year, last year, that I wasn't fine. It sort of just progressively got worse because I was avoiding it a lot.
Yeah.
And then, long story short, I had a few episodes. It was down in a really dark place. And then I just, one day just had to go, I'm going to see someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was like, what, 4 years it kind of took you to really start?
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like, when you're going through that as a young kid, no young kid is able to articulate their emotions and actually describe it to someone, because they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like same for me, I was confused about everything. I didn't know how to explain anything.
Yeah.
So I just bottled it up and you mask it because you don't want people interfering and
100% just think it's harder for men as well. I know, I'm not trying to stereotype anything, but men are definitely the ones that are not going to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
And they're men, the friends are supportive and they try their best, but you're not going to tell them anything anyway, so they're not going to know to be supportive. I think girls are just a lot more in touch with themselves.
They are,
and they're just able to talk about their problems a lot more freely.
Definitely.
Which is something that needs to change, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed, but it's also there's still the kind of generation who are just just man up, just stop thinking too much.
That's tough guy stuff.
Yeah, the tough guy stuff, which is I feel like once you get past that, once I got past that, I was I was just more secure with myself. I was more happy. I was, even a couple of my friends who were going through things, we all just were in our own bubble of just safety, and there wasn't any, oh you're weak, or there wasn't any of that type.
I 100% agree.
Stereotype. How would you I guess, best, because this was something that started with your father getting cancer.
Yeah.
How would you best describe that feeling? Was it like a scary feeling, or like you just didn't know what was going to happen?
Yeah, so like it obviously starts out with like the fear and just like being constantly scared.
Yeah.
But then like after a while, it just sort of turns into like this dull ache inside, and like your emotions just sort of like always negative. You're just always in that negative dark mood. It's really hard to like articulate into words, but it's almost like a blankness. Like I just found like sometimes you just wouldn't even have emotion. You'd just be like so down inside that you were just so run down and mentally tapped out that there was just no emotion. And that was the real scary part, I guess.
Yeah. Did you ever catch yourself? I know I did. As soon as I started getting better and things were going good, did you catch yourself in that moment? You were like, oh, how long is this gonna last? And I'm like, I don't know. Kind of like you don't know when there's gonna be a calm down, and then you just
from that specific mood.
Yeah, like because you said it's been up and down. When it gets up, do you ever catch yourself feeling like, oh, this is just whatever, it's only gonna last for like a week or two? Or like a day? Yeah,
you definitely overthink things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're so used to the feelings that you're feeling, that you do sort of just anticipate something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
But I guess that is like a negative aspect that you've sort of just got to overlook. It's just something you've got to push past. But I definitely at the start of the year, I was just like, oh, I'm happy now. Okay, what's next? Like, I'm definitely not going to be happy forever. Like, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And something's going to happen.
Right. So, working through the therapy route, how was that been? Like, was it great from the jump, or was it something that
no way. I'll hands down say therapy is probably the hardest thing I'm still doing. Like when I first was going, like I was shit scared, like I was nervous the whole time, like because like I was trained as a man not to talk about my feelings. Like it took a few weeks just to sort of come to the process. Like there was periods of 5 minutes where we were just sitting there in silence just because like I just didn't want to talk. Like I'm so scared. My mom still drives me. Like seriously, I can't take myself. Like it's the scariest thing I've ever done. But like it's so beneficial. What I'm learning now about myself and like the processes to help me deal with what I'm going through is just like life changing. It saved my life in so many different ways. And I'm really fortunate that I'm going now because now I'm just like sort of opening up to the process after so many weeks and months. Like that I'm just really happy to be there. Like it's not something I look forward to, but when I'm there, I'm just really trying to participate because I know I'm just going to get something out of it.
Exactly. It's like having a safe space where nothing's off limits. You can't really get in trouble for anything you say. It's all about working to develop yourself.
Yeah, that was a massive thing. Like being honest with myself because I was trained to be so secretive and just like tough bloke, don't want to talk about my feelings. It's kind of refreshing to be like in a situation where I can just be honest with myself. Because when I'm honest with myself and he's sort of asking me questions and I'm trying to explain it to him, it's just like eye-opening to your own situation. Like just by talking about random things in your life, you just understand, okay, this is why this is happening. Yeah,
you realize that there's a reason for everything that happens. It's just how you deal with it. So you have talked about medication. So like how was that? Was that introduced during therapy, or was that like kind of?
So it was. I've been going for a couple of weeks, and I sort of hadn't really opened up to the process yet. And he was just like, "Hey, you should probably look at these options." But I was obviously scared because I know a lot of people that had been through the medication route, but they had obviously no idea what I was going through. But I didn't want to talk to anyone about it, so I didn't really understand the side effects because I know there's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. And like how you're feeling, and like do you feel drowsy? Does it change your moods? Like, so I did have like an open conversation with my doctor, and he just kind of told me that it will be okay. Like what he put me on was just like a pretty low dose to start. And what it does is just balance out the chemicals in your brain to sort of like just give you that edge to help balance things and like stabilize your moods almost. It's going really well. Like I definitely feel like starting on it was a good thing for me, but it's obviously a band-aid. So
true.
It's like you duct tape on a leaking pipe. Like you can't use it forever. You just while you're going through the processes and sort of coming to terms with yourself, it's like definitely a good thing to look at. Like really helps balance you out. Yeah.
So talking through the therapy, going through that, and how like how good it's been for you.
Yeah.
I think for me, I saw someone who was a role model to me, my dad,
Yeah.
who went to therapy and started talking about these things, and that helped me. Did you have anyone else, I guess, like a role model or even a friend that you saw going into that space and that kind of inspired you?
Yeah, so I have like a really close friend that had some really damaging mental health issues at the end of last year. And he's probably one of the bravest people I know. Like, I'm so proud of him. Like, the way he conducted himself throughout the whole thing. He was so honest with our friend group about it, which is something I could never do. Like, it damaged me. Like, I was just like, fuck, how is he so open about it?
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of put me down by myself, but like, obviously I wasn't comfortable with people. But yeah, he was just so open about his experiences, and he would go to therapy and he would talk about all the things that are helping him and how better he's doing because of it, and like the processes he's learning, and like, it was really good to hear. Like, it was really refreshing. Like, I'm so proud of him. Like, I could never have told anyone like what I was going through, but he was just so open, and that he was like a massive role model to me. But obviously, like, I was 6-7 months down later getting help, but unfortunately, but yeah, he sort of like definitely opened the conversation for myself to get more in touch with my issues.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah, and it's so helpful to have someone that you can have fun with, and you go out for beers and like have a good time with, but you can also get serious with.
Yeah.
And you can just catch and say like, oh, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, how are things going at the moment? Because you can like, because you're going pretty good at the moment.
Yeah.
And that could, and honestly, that could change in like, just how I don't mean to like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That can just change. So it's great to have someone you can continually follow up with, and who knows that you're unpredictable at times.
Yeah.
Both of you, really.
Yeah.
Which is good. For the project, I have these things called like food for thought.
Yeah.
I did one just about a friend of mine who, like a family friend who like committed suicide. So they're just like little personal anecdotes for me.
Yeah.
And I look at it, and I got one coming out talking about the different labels you put on other people. Now I see you, I've kind of just seen you like mutually throughout the years, and I see you as like this like very popular person, like everyone knows, everyone likes. Yeah. And like to me, I'm like subconsciously, oh yeah, everything's fine. Like there's no, I guess, reason for him to be worried, which is again like it's so wrong. There shouldn't be.
It's the way everyone thinks though. Like, it's not just anyone. Like, everyone gets those stereotypes in their head. That, like, not a sensitive, open, happy person would be going through such mental health issues. Yeah. So that was just like the main thing. It's like there's no labels anymore. Everyone is human, and everyone runs patterns of anxiety. Yeah. Everyone does. Like, that's just a fact, and everyone runs patterns of depression. So I think it was a good thing to see that a lot of people that I have on lists for interviews and who want to talk about their things, they're a whole range of people. Like, they're people who, I had no idea about, but it's so great because, like, even yourself, I think people are going to look at that and be like, oh, you know, I'm going to talk about that myself. And even you did, like, you messaged me about, like, Finn and how after you kind of watched that he was kind of inspired to do that. Yeah, I was heaps inspired by Finn and like his story. Obviously, we had similar issues, but nothing's the same. Yeah. And I was just like, I think I'll get a kick out of it personally, doing it myself, and what I can do for others with it.
Yeah. So has social media like played a role with any of this? As in, like, you know, you have to put a mask up and you know, show everything's.
Yeah, I feel like definitely just even throughout everything, you've got to put a fake smile on everything. Like, I personally didn't want anyone to know at any stage that I wasn't fine. That was just me. But yeah, I think throughout high school, social media was definitely more negative. Now that everyone's sort of coming into adulthood, young adults, and it's 2020, everyone's sort of like getting around mental health. Like, you do see the positives, like everyone's posting about it. Yeah. But there's also the negatives, like, it's just a post, like, what are you changing? Yeah, like, I definitely do see that stuff. But yeah, I think it's good that people are just becoming more aware now. I would like to see, not just posts, but I'd like to see people just sort of undertake, like, just more of an understanding about mental health, not just posting about it. Maybe just like I read a really good post because it's Men's Mental Health Week this week.
Yeah.
I saw a girl, even it was a female, and she made this massive post about like what men go through and like how they go through it, and sort of just I messaged her and I was just like, hey, this is like really cool. Yeah. This is like that's the type of stuff I want to see on social media. That sort of positive, not just like just like a repost of just like I'm happy that everyone gets around it. Don't get me wrong. Like it's stoked that people get around it, but
of course.
Yeah, it definitely has its positives and negatives.
Yeah, it's like taking that next step. Like there is awareness around it,
100%.
and now we got to start thinking like sharing stories, sharing the success, which is like huge. So like I definitely agree. Social media is like it's good for that, but it's also like you want to see
you want to see genuine support.
You want to see the reality.
That's cool.
So you've kind of touched on this before, but just the support from your friends through all of this, like how has that been, just with you becoming more secure with the stuff you're going through and moving forward?
Honestly, I only have one friend that sort of knows about my issues. I did have like a bit of a mental breakdown at one point after a few years, and I was just like really opened up to this one friend who like kind of like it wasn't like life changing, but I was just really glad that I did it. Like I think a lot of my friends will look back at this and be like, holy shit, I had no idea. Just because I'm like a bit of a private person, like I was really uncomfortable and had anxiety about my issues itself. Like I had a real anxiety about people knowing what I was going through, because I didn't want them to treat me any differently.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't want to be seen any differently in anyone else's eyes. I kind of just wanted to be like same old Jake, but I guess that sort of led to that fake smile that I kept putting on. Like I had to keep going out and just like smiling, pretending like everything was fine all the time.
Yeah.
But this one friend was kind of just like a really good outlet. And I think it was just refreshing to me because a lot of my issues came from avoiding and bottling up. Yeah. Like it just sort of built on each other, and it sort of got to the extent it did because I didn't have anyone to talk to. Yeah. So I think that one friend was just a support network for me. And like I'm really stoked to have him in my life. Yeah, sweet.
And also support from your family throughout this. You have any siblings?
Yeah, I got one sister. Yeah.
How's that? How's she been kind of just throughout this?
My mum's like a legend. Like I don't tell her enough, but I love her. I love her to death. She drives me to all my therapy. She's always checking in on me. She was sort of there at my darkest points and sort of led me to therapy. So she's been really supportive. My sister and I don't really talk about it. Yeah. Like it's just like around the house, I think they're just treading on eggshells personally, like because I'm so used to this tough guy mentality and like everything's fine, the manly stereotype. I think my family are just in the sort of same headspace that I'm gonna pretend like I'm always fine and I can't really talk about my feelings around them. Yeah. Which is something I'd like to open up to. It's definitely a part of my therapy to be more open with my family. Yeah. But it's something I'd like to look into a lot more per se, rather than what's going on now. Yeah, I've got to be a lot more honest with them about what I'm feeling, for sure.
Right. For sure. Okay. I was going to touch on because I've seen you out, like you like to have a drink. And it's like a casual thing. And it's like the whole, when you go see your mates, like, how you going? Yeah. And you just say, you're good. Yeah. Because you don't want to drag it on and be
it's massive small talk.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you should always be like, straight up and like say it, but it's also something you need to be saying here and there and be like,
gotta pick your crowd.
Exactly. And it's great to have friends. I have friends I can just be like fun with and like stupid with and not get too serious with, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. And then I have some friends who I can get personal and get deep with. So it's great to have just a variety of friends just for different purposes. I've got a really solid friend group, like a lot of my surf club mates. We're like, we kind of grew up together, so it was really in close, and we've kind of been there for each other at each other's like low and high points. So we are very comfortable with each other. Obviously I wasn't comfortable enough to talk about my issues because that was just how I was personally, but I think they are really good for a deep conversation, like if we were there. Like we've definitely talked about things in the past and probably will in the future about how we're going, and I think after this, hopefully, like I'll be able to be more open with them. It's kind of like my coming out to them, like it's kind of like my like sharing my story, just because like I really struggle with the face-to-face conversations. And I don't think I could tell them without crying. Yes, I feel that. It's such an awkward thing to say.
I know. Especially from like a men's perspective, like you don't want to talk about that stuff with your mates. Like it's really hard, but like hopefully after this I'll be able to have a range of conversations with them and just like they're like, yeah, it's all good. I'm happy that they're there for me.
Yeah,
because I know they always are.
Yeah. So you talk about these like low points, and you kind of like break down.
Yeah. What
was like? I guess go into them and how. If there was like a certain event that happened, or just it only feel like comfortable.
Yeah, no, it's part of the experience, like being open about it. I'm definitely more open about my things now since I've been going to therapy.
Yeah.
So I think the last one I had before I went to therapy, that was just the main one. I'd had like 1 or 2 beers. Like I wasn't like in the right headspace. Like I'd been going through a real low point for 2 weeks. This was before anyone knew about it, my family or anyone. I was kind of just by myself. And so one night like I just got really upset with myself and I was in such a dark place and I sort of just lost myself to a really bad spot and I tried to commit suicide. And I was just thinking about it for a long time and it was something that I was really struggling with. And then my mum happened to walk in at that point.
Wow.
And I sort of just like broke down crying and just like, I'm so thankful that she did that at that point. It was just like fate that she was there. And my mum just held me for a couple of hours while I was just sobbing and crying like a big sook. Yeah, I'm so glad, like that was just my darkest point. It was like I lost myself, I just blacked out completely from my personality. Something just else came over me.
Yeah.
And like, I've definitely had other thoughts and times like that in the past, but they were never to that extent. Like I think I just bottled it up for so long and I was going through such a dark time that enough was a bit of enough.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me after that, but I'm so thankful that that event happened.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just glad that I can be open about it now because it's really important. Like people do go through that stage of just losing themselves in that 1 split second, 50-50. Like I always think like sometimes I know I could have went the other way and things just could have changed drastically.
Yeah, I had one of those moments, like I was out, this is definitely my lowest point. I was out clubbing and I came home because something just hit me while I was out and having a great time.
Yeah.
I looking back, I think it was a panic attack, but I don't really know. And that drove me to, trying to, and I immediately stopped myself after I kind of seen what I was doing to myself. But I agree, in that moment, you lose control. It's like I can see what's happening, but you don't control that. It's just,
you're not in the driver's seat. You're just like a passenger for a split second.
Yeah, I agree. It's so, I wish it didn't happen, but also I'm kind of happy it did at the same time, because since then I've been able to grow so much and it's changed everything. So I think it's just that whole, you got to take a couple of steps back on your way to move forward.
I agree, and it's just being like about honest with yourself. I think after that moment, I think you just eye-open to sort of like, hey, I'm not okay.
Yeah. And it's not just like your conscious is actually agreeing with that, like I'm not okay and I need to start taking this more seriously. 100%. So up to the third part, we'll go through some advice, some revelations and reflection through all of this. So what are some activities that are like therapeutic for you that you found?
I found like exercise was really big for me.
Yes, you.
Like I'm not very good at running, but like obviously I do it because it's just good to clear your head. Like I definitely run. I don't like to run alone, so I run with friends every Monday, and I feel like that's massive for my mental health. Like just having someone to talk to while I run, it's a good positive outlet. Obviously gyms have been closed, so like that was a bit hard for a while. But like I just found like a boxing bag was pretty good too. Throwing the gloves on, and I think like the non-exercise thing that was just really good for me was just like going for a swim. Like down at fisheries, just chuck your swimmers on, just like head under. I think that was just a massive refreshing moment for me.
Like water therapy is like huge. Like I'll just kind of immerse myself and just float for a bit. Just not, because it's like when you're underwater, you don't hear anything. Like you're kind of just in your own little zone. So that's great. You got a couple of activities, and it's good you got some consistency as well. Like every Monday, you got people who you rely on and they rely on you to kind of to fulfill that, to go on a run. That's good.
That's a massive point.
And it's great to establish them earlier on, because they're with you forever. Like you're always going to be able to go for runs as much as you can, you know, for the next how many years. Advice. So what's some really good advice that you've heard, and also on the flip side, some like, I think it's harmful advice?
The best advice I've ever heard is probably from my therapist. Yeah, he's professional, so it's obviously going to be pretty good.
Yeah, he should be good.
It's just, especially just, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And that was just massive for me. Like, I think he said it about 100 times in the space of an hour, just to drill it into my brain. It's okay to not be okay. And like with that, I think I just sort of, like a massive positive like progression of myself was just realizing that, and then I could sit with my feelings, whether they were positive or negative.
Yeah.
And like with that, I could just sort of sit in the moment and then identify what I'm feeling. And then from there, I could take different steps. So that one phrase, I sort of just tell myself every single time, like, happy, sad, like, it's okay that I'm not okay, because, you know what, in the end of the scheme of things, like, I'm going to be okay eventually. I'm going to work through this, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to have a positive process to get me back to where I want to be.
That's great.
Negative advice, I don't know one specifically, but I know there's a lot of just, you know what, just brush it off, it'll be right. Yeah, especially like, and from a male's perspective, I think like a massive one is just like, you know what, you don't need to talk about your feelings. Like, you know what, it's okay, men don't cry, like men don't need to get emotional, they're not weak or anything. That's the most damaging thing I think I've ever heard. Just because like, I know it was how I was brought up, and it was how my parents were brought up, and it's just this massive stigma and stereotype that's sort of just damaging, and it does lead to a lot of negative effects for men. So I'm like really happy to see the cycle sort of breaking amongst people. And that's like, it's what I really want to see.
That's good. That's a thing that I hear from a lot of people, like, just, men shouldn't talk about these things, or like they, you know, just eat a cup of concrete, stuff like that.
Eat a cup of concrete's a massive one.
So it's good to weed out the stuff that is rational and irrational, like you find what's actually working for you. There's a reason why people say it's okay to not be okay so much, because it's like, it's just so true.
I think like we realise that now just because we're a lot older. Like definitely through high school, like I wouldn't have been able to come to terms with those sort of things. Like I definitely just still would have been in that headspace. I was a massive hypocrite about it.
What is something you tell your younger self, knowing what you know now?
Telling my younger self, probably be more open to telling people about things. Be more open with your communication about how you're feeling, because I feel like if I went and saw someone a lot earlier, around the 15, 16-year-old age, it definitely would have just saved me a lot of hassle, a lot of mental space. Like it would have just really put me in a positive standpoint early on, and it would have just saved me a lot of grey hairs and a lot of like anxiety and depression. For sure.
So that's good.
Definitely go get help soon. Talk about your feelings.
What is something you're always grateful for on this whole journey?
I'm definitely grateful for life. I'm definitely just grateful that I'm in a positive headspace now. I've got my mum looking out for me. I've got my friends that are always around me. Like there's not a day that goes by that I don't see my mates. Like I'm just always got someone around that looks out and loves me, and that's a massive thing for me. I feel like no matter what, I've always got someone that'll be there for me, and that's just massive. Like it's just massive to know, even if they're not there that in that physical moment, they're just always going to be there if you need them.
Exactly.
Like that's massive.
Because they might not understand what you're going through, but they can understand that you're unpredictable and that you're sometimes not okay. So it's best for them to just know that. Once they know that, then they have a bit of a radar of how to treat you and how to care for you.
How to just look out.
What is something you know that you can do better?
Definitely communication.
I
think just because I just struggled with face-to-face conversations so much about my mental health issues that like it just really just set me down the wrong path. Like because I wasn't able to talk with my friends or family about what I was going through, it just really hurt. Just because like my friend who had a really negative experience himself with mental health issues, and him being so open, like it just like destroyed me that I didn't have the courage to do it. Like I just felt like I wasn't strong enough or just wasn't ready to talk about my issues. So I feel like yeah, the communication is just something I really need to work on, because in that you're also more honest with yourself with how you're going and what's going on, and I feel like that's massive.
Yeah, like I see some of like my idols and like sports stars and different stuff like that, and if I see them talking about it, it just humanizes everyone. Like they're doing what they're doing, and they're really like, you know, they got the whole world in their hands, but at the same time, like it's a big weight they have on their shoulders, and it's so good to see someone else saying something that you're exactly thinking about.
Yeah, it's good, especially when it comes from someone that's definitely popular and well known.
Yeah.
Someone like that that's sort of like put up on a pedestal to talk about mental health issues is sort of just like normalizing it for everyone. Yeah. Sort of just making it like a common issue. Yeah. Which I feel like is really beneficial for everyone, because it's sort of just more like realizing that, hey, it happens to the best of people. For sure.
Yeah. So finish off with one last thing. What's some advice from yourself you would give to anyone out there who's struggling the same?
Bit of advice to people that are struggling, just definitely like find someone that supports you, and then just try and have that conversation, whether you do it in parts, whether you do it in one go. Just find someone that you can talk to and maybe just express that you're not fine, because from there they can sort of train themselves to be able to, you know, just be your friend and be able to have a good conversation about your mental health, because from that you're only going to get something positive out of it. Yeah. You're only going to get better by coming forward earlier rather than just letting it and sitting and damaging. Yeah. Yeah, like I hope for people that are going through it and they see this, they're just like, hey, you know what, maybe it's time. Maybe it's just time to open a conversation, because it all starts with a conversation. Yeah. Everything, you know, you just want to look out for yourself and your mental health, and you just want to make sure everyone's safe and happy. Yeah. Yeah. It feels so good to actually say something and to cry a bit. I've found like it actually feels so good. Crying's the best. Yeah. It is, honestly. Crying's so good. It feels good after. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's so good. Sweet. Well, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. I hope you found something good from this, and have a good day. See ya.